Hi guys. I couldn't see that it was recording. So today's another requested video from Tiffany. And it was a very good video request, and I want to address it. So it's on proper spell work disposal. This is a wide and varied topic depending on who you speak to, the work you're doing, what's in the work, where you live. This has a lot of ins and outs, so I understand the question. So first and foremost, it depends on the work. If you're okay, because like there's good workings, happy workings, your helpful workings, healing workings, stuff like that. And then there's the, you need to get rid of somebody, you need to shut someone up, you need someone to stay away from someone else, you need you're trying to protect your child from someone or something. So there's a lot of variables that go into how you would dispose of your work. And then there is the other opinion of, well, just get rid of it, it doesn't matter how. And it varies across every platform. Like, each section of witchcraft is going to tell you to do it differently, which boils down to just what you're comfortable with and what you're okay with. It also depends on where you live too. So, and this is my opinion, not everybody else's, just how I think, how I function in my own practice. And there was a cat in this window, and she has broken my blinds. So, okay. Places. Crossroads, trash, river, cemetery, field, forest, desert. Those are the ones that I had thought of off the top of my head, and I added 3 of them right as I was talking because I got stumped when I was thinking earlier. And I've got my little notebook. So, okay. For defensive stuff and to cause confusion or okay, it's hard to describe crossroads. That's where I'm going with the first one, is it seems like the less obvious choice for some things. So if you're trying to keep someone away from you or something along those lines, taking them, or like a return to sender spell, you could take them to the crossroads and bury them, or dispose of them at a crossroads. Sometimes it's a gas station at a crossroads. I have a friend that she lived, I guess, close to her state line, and there was a crossroads at the state line, and she would dispose of them there. I know people that go to crossroads in cemeteries, at larger cemeteries, and they will dispose of things like at the base of a tree, like bury stuff. Excuse me, I just ate dinner. But crossroads can work if you don't want to be traced back, if you want to cause further confusion. So if you're doing something pertaining to causing chaos, like to befuddle them, they don't know what hit them, all that kind of stuff, you would want to, or I would, crossroads. Trash, I say that in a couple of reasons. So if you live near a landfill, a public dumping area, or you have a dumpster at your apartment complex, or somewhere you could dispose of trash in a dumpster, and I say that because to throw things away at home, which is fine if that's, you do you don't want to leave that in your house to fester. So it feels like it's a non-completed task to just like dump something in a trash can and then walk away. And that could just be the part that doesn't sit well with me, is it doesn't feel like the task is completed and it can't finish the work. So when I am dealing with someone or a situation that I'm feeling like I'm getting treated like crap because this person is being trash, then I will, whatever working I did, I will take it and I'll put their ass in the trash. Like, and I wrote that down, like, as in put them where they belong. That's how I think. That's just how my brain works. And that is okay, because that is what that's for. So I'm going to end this with a thing about offerings as well. Let me write that down, because that just occurred to me that I need to throw that in and explain. So the next place, so far we've got Crossroads, trash, and my next one was river. Here's why I will throw another caution in. If your glass is in something plastic or something glass, please do not throw it in the river. Maybe bury it by the river, but not in the river, which kind of can take away from what you're trying to accomplish. What I would say is if you're going to do something concerning water, okay, and this is just me being an environmentalist and thinking ahead. Some people don't do this because, I mean, they're trying to get something done and it requires, this is just me. So I would not throw something in that could potentially cause a problem. Say that the jar or whatever catches air and floats further, hits a rock, lands on the shore, and cuts up somebody's feet. It's probably not going to be the victim you're looking for. You know what I mean? So, and then same thing with plastic. If, say, an animal, if it's a small plastic jar, ingests it, chokes and dies, again, not your intended target. You're just, to me, it doesn't feel responsible. So I would say you can do something that would accomplish the same thing in a safer manner. So if your working is mostly organic materials, not bloody animal parts, but organic materials, unless you have gators, that's another topic. But okay, so let me back up a little bit. If it's organic materials, non-hazardous, non-poisonous, and you just went to town on a lemon and really, maybe shoved your intention in there with some paper and sewn it shut but didn't leave needle in, it's biodegradable. That will degrade down. And you can chuck that right in a river and follow it with an orange. And I'll explain that later. So it depends on how you do things and how you work things. But I would say always practice safe hexing. Not to be funny, but seriously, like, make sure you're covered while you're doing what you need to do. That way you're not going to injure anybody unnecessarily, because honestly, they're not your target. You don't want to cause unnecessary harm unless that's just your thing. And otherwise, you do you, boo. I'm not going to do that. But you do whatever you want. Off that topic, the next one would be cemetery. So the cemetery, like, that's, if I have to take somebody to a cemetery, I don't ever want to deal with you again. Period. I don't want you in my life or anybody else's life, to be honest. And I just utterly want you gone from my existence. If I have to do that, you're going to a cemetery. And I will probably look for a crossroads at the cemetery. That is very, like, that would be an anger-fueled, thought-out process for me, because you either hurt me or somebody I love. So, but that is like end all, like, we're done. Like, you're done. We're done. And then the next thing, some of these are more hateful than others. Sorry, not sorry, I apologize, but I wanted to be as thorough as possible. If you live in a desert type environment, taking somebody out into the desert and burying them, it would take a lot to get them to find you again, because you're putting them in nowhere. And then kind of like a now for forest and fields for me are the kind of the opposite. So if I've done a healing spell or some type of lighter work that didn't pertain to death and dismemberment, then forest and field, where things grow and are, reborn yearly, seasonally, stuff like that, that is where that work would go, and it would be buried and, laid to rest. So it just really depends on what you're doing and what your outcome, or what outcome you want. You could throw things into the swamp. Now, if you really want to get rid of something and it's organic materials, edible, and gators eat anything just about, they're pretty good at that. You can remember the heart, the animal parts topic, that heart, the tongue, you really want it gone, poop. But now at the same time, here's the other side of that. You're giving that negative intention or negative problem to that animal. So it will be disposed of and it will feed that animal, but you're kind of feeding it all your bad juju. So do you really want to do that? Just depends on your mind frame. Just depends on the day sometimes. So I would say be mindful of that. Now, I wanted to bring up offerings because with any work you do and anything you dispose of, I have, my makeup is like still on this side and all this driving me nuts. Any work you do requires an offering. Well, okay, let me back that up. Reel it back in. It doesn't require anything. Like in my opinion, it does. That's how I work my practice. If that's not something that you worry about, then again, you do you. I always try to pay back what I'm using. So, for instance, with the lemon in the river followed by an orange, so you're disposing of your bitter work and you're following it with an offering of sweet as a thank you. That's kind of the thought process I'm going with. It doesn't have to be an orange, but like bitter and sweet. It could be an apple, could be a grape, whatever you want to do. And it doesn't have to be fruit. Fruit's easier. It's a little bit cheaper than, literally throwing your money at stuff. You can leave little bottles of liquor. You can leave, like under a tree or at the bank, leave an offering of fruit and nuts. You can leave offerings for the little critters around there and the spirits. Show appreciation for the work that you're asking to be done. And another thing about the river, because I mentioned what you could do, but the river will continue your work. It will, to get somebody away from you, it will continue to carry that work down, right? So that is kind of the thought process of using the river as a disposal thing. So you would chuck whatever you're doing into the river and let it be carried away from you. That's where I was going with the river. But offerings should always, in my opinion, should always be made to give thanks for the spirits that are working with you and for you and helping you, and those vary, some, you can leave money, you can leave, blood, you can leave, jewelry, whatever, but you should leave an offering. And I would say also, this is going to be a long video. I keep thinking of things I need to add because this is kind of one of those broad topics. So when you're done with that, dust yourself off. Clean yourself off. Done. Gone. Be rid of that negative. Just done. It's done. And do it in confidence. Like, bye. And then do your offering and then walk away. And I would try not to go back to that exact same spot, but that's hard to do. You live in a city, you only got so many places to go, whatever. But you want to be done with the work confidently. You don't want, at that point, your work is done. It is done. You've done the work. Now you let spirits do their work. Let ancestors do their work. let whoever else you've called upon do that work for you. You have submitted your request and hit send. Walk away. That is my thought process. I think I'm going to cut it short there. Because, I mean, like, in each of these situations, you could, like, there's layers. The cemetery, layers. Crossroads, lots of layers. But those are the main disposal points. And the thing with the trash, like, throw it in the trash, take it to your dumpster or dump site, and it will there again be carried away to another dump site. So, and then buried. And that is a lengthy process, but it does work. So I think I'm going to cut this one off. I have another one I'm going to do right in a minute, right after this, but I got to run to the store. So y'all have a good night, and hopefully this helps. Have a good one. Bye.